Confused about circle theorems? Hopefully this video will help. Right, let's get started. In this video we're going to look at 4 more crucial circle theorems you need to know for higher GCSE Maths. This is a follow-up to my previous video, 5 crucial circle theorems. So while watching that video isn't essential, watching both of these videos should give you all that you need to know about circle theorems for GCSE. Before we get started, please click the subscribe button and the bell icon. That way, when I put out videos on topics related with GCSE Maths, you will get notified. Firstly, we are going to look at a higher level GCSE problem which will use 3 circle theorems. In this problem, we have a diagram of a circle. It has points A, B, C, D on the circumference and O is the center. There is a line AOC. And the questions ask, what is the size of the angle X? There are actually 2 ways to solve this problem. I will talk about both. As mentioned previously, the best way to deal with this kind of question where it's not immediately obvious what the answer is to put down what you do know. We know AOC is a line that goes through the center of the circle. That means its length is the diameter of the circle. This leads us to the first circle theorem. The angle made by the 2 lines drawn from the end of a diameter will always make 90 degrees where they meet on the circumference of the circle. Now AB is a line drawn from the diameter AC. BC is a line drawn from the diameter AC. Therefore, the angle ABC, or the angle made by the lines AB and BC, is 90 degrees. So you might be wondering, why did I pick this circle theorem as opposed to another one of the 4 we are going to talk about today? No reason, it's just the first one that came to my mind. This is the approach I'm suggesting. Put down what you know as it comes to your mind. Even if you get the question wrong, you may get some marks for your thinking. The next circle theorem I'm going to use is the perpendicular bisector of a chord passes through the center of the circle. I thought of this one because BD is a chord. A chord is a fancy name for the line on the inside of a circle that touches 2 points. As it's a perpendicular, that means the angle it makes is 90 degrees with the line it cuts or bisects. That means AC makes an angle of 90 degrees where it cuts BD. Let's call this point F. That means ABF and ADF are right-angled triangles. They share a common side in AF. The sides BF and DF are equal. As the circle theorem says, it's a perpendicular bisector, that is AC and BD. Taking all of this together means the triangles are congruent, which means same side, same angle. The angles in a congruent triangle are the same. Therefore, that means angle BAF is 64 degrees, as angle DAF is 64 degrees. We know that the angles in a triangle all add up to 180 degrees. That means that x plus 90 plus 64 equals 180. So x equals 180 minus 154, which is 26. The answer is 26. Originally, I said there were 2 ways which we could solve this problem. So we have seen the first way. Now let's look at the second way. If we draw in a line between C and D, we can see that angle DAC and angle CBDs are angles in the same segment of the circle, made by our imaginary line CD. This means that they are equal according to the circle theorem. So angle CBD is 64 degrees as well. From our first rule, we know that angle ABC comes to 90 degrees. This means angles CBD plus X equals 90. Therefore, X again is 26 degrees as we found with the last method. In terms of which way is better, one could say neither. With these circle theorem problems, my advice would be to put down what you know, which means you have to really make an effort to learn the circle theorems. One good way of learning things well is to learn them and then try and explain it as if you were explaining to a friend who did not know what the circle theorems were. So once you think you've learnt them, draw each one out without looking at the book and keep practicing until you can do all of them without looking at the book. Another thing that might not be immediately obvious is that you need to know about triangles to solve circle theorem problems. So know that angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees, know the difference between isosceles and equilateral triangles, know what congruency is, and that will really help. At the start of this video, I promised you 4 circle theorems. Well, the last circle theorem we will cover is quite a simple one and maybe quite obvious, but still very important. It states that if you have 2 radii, they form an isosceles triangle between 2 points on a circle, with a line or chord drawn between them. So this brings us to the end of this video on circle theorems. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel for further videos on GCSE Maths.